2020 hasn't really worked out the way anyone expected. Instead of traveling the world and being in Asia for the Olympics and South America for the first half of the year, Sarah and I are back home. But it's not all bad. This has given us the opportunity to head up north and see two of America's most famous national parks, ones that neither Sarah nor I had ever been to before. And so we packed up the car and made the best of everything by heading out to America's first national park. Finally made it to the campsite, and now it's just time to get a quick camp set up. Sarah's gonna make dinner, I'm gonna do the tent. Our friends Katie and Ryan are doing their thing. And then it is time for us to head out to our first sunset in Yellowstone. As much as I wanted to stay up and see the stars, we did have to turn in early after a long day on the road. After all, tomorrow we were going to see Old Faithful. So we just tried to go to Old Faithful, and everybody who has been in the park in the last week apparently decided to come today. So 0 social distancing, not many people are wearing a mask, and it's just a madhouse. So we're gonna try it again on Tuesday. After our unsuccessful Old Faithful attempt, we came out to Fairy Falls and Grand Prismatic Springs, and it is still crowded, but
it's not as bad though when you go to Fairy Falls. For Grand Prismatic, it's only 0.6 round trip, but for Fairy Falls, it's a 4.9 round trip mile. Very flat land, very easy, but still it deters enough people to make it enjoyable.
I don't know if you heard, I was up taking that photo, and Ryan was like, "Oh, look, Brandon, the bear's back."
Except it's like 500 feet away.
Right?
Sorry.
And I was like, "Wrong lens!" and like starts sprinting back down the hill.
So we just finished at Grand Prismatic Overview and the Fairy Falls walk. Sorry, that was a squirrel. That just had some really awesome views. We got to see a bear, which was really cool. So we've already seen an elk and a bear within like 24 hours of being here. So our luck is looking up. But we are currently having some burgers and just some dinner with this beautiful view behind us before we go head out to get some sunset photos at a like sulfur pond or some sort of like geyser thing. I don't know, Brandon planned it.
Our last stop of the day is at Fountain Painted Pot, where we can see all 4 different types of geysers and hopefully get an incredible sunset. Last day in Yellowstone, we are hitting the North Rim Trail of the Great Canyon of Yellowstone, and then going up to Artist Point.
So excited to see waterfalls. They are my favorite.
But on the way, we hit a little traffic jam.
So we were on our way to the Grand Canyon of Yellowstone and saw all these bison out here. Decided to call an audible, so we're going to go to the canyon later this afternoon, but this is totally worth it to be able to see these guys because they are huge.
After getting our picture with the locals, we headed on to one of the most spectacular places in the park. So our last stop of the morning is Artist Point, and while we are really excited to see this in the daytime, last night we were here, got some incredible star shots, and they look something like this.
We are back at Old Faithful trying this again. There's still a ton of people here. It's better than it was on Sunday, so at least that's a positive, but they just predict when it's going to go off because it's not consistent, so we'll hopefully be able to see it.
To everyone's shock and amazement, Old Faithful went off right on time. And just like that, our time in Yellowstone was done. While it wasn't our preferred destination for the year, I have to say that America's first national park lived up to the expectations. But now it is time to head down south and go to the next one, Grand Tetons. Join us next week and be sure to subscribe and hit that bell to be notified when the next video drops.